when I'm not once again proving myself recession-proof by not having any actual investments. I like to answer questions and comments that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Great video on major third double stops. Would be interested in best voicings for fifths and sixths too. So the other day I posted a lesson about moving major thirds up and down the neck, just kind of left to right. I think it's something that we don't talk about that much in music. We kind of just tend to do these static hand shapes and don't really kind of do just left and right stuff. I did thirds. I'll link you to that video if you guys are interested. But today we're talking about fifths, okay? Fifths are very important. You've played them before, whether you know any music theory or terminology or not, just because a root note and a power chord is a fifth. A root note and a fifth, right? So if you're playing a G power chord, third fret on the E string, fifth fret on the A string, you're getting a note and its fifth. And that comes from the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A G and a G, A, B, C, D. G and D are a power chord, okay? Now, this is why that intervallic formula, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, is so important, okay? You may have heard this before. If you don't have this committed to memory, that should be the one thing that you should do from a music theory practicality standpoint, is just remember whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. 2 whole steps, a half step, 3 whole steps, and then a half step. That's it. So if you were to do that on one string, E would be an open E note, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Again, a whole step being 2 frets, half step just being 1 fret, okay? So that sound should register already. Now, the cool thing about fifths is we can make power chords out of these. And then by learning that one formula, we can add kind of like a trailer note to it, just like this. Okay, so all I did is I added one note to the whole thing, and I turned them all into kind of mini almost chords, a 2-note chord. Technically, you need 3 different notes to be a chord. We'll call these chords. That's why they're power chords, all right? Now, you may have noticed when I did it that way, I made one adjustment, okay? So remember, open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12 will give you the E major scale notes. And again, if you just go 2 frets higher on the A string, you get open and 2, a 2 power chord, F sharp power chord, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. This guy right here, that 11th fret, right there, the key of E has a D sharp in it. It doesn't have a true perfect fifth in there. That's why this is a diminished chord, the 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th degree in any key has a diminished quality to it, a flat 5, okay? So you can remember it that way, or you just play this as a power chord if you truly don't care, which is totally fine by me. What I think is really important to understand, because it's like, all right, well, that's one thing if I'm just like maybe kind of playing pop punk on this Tom DeLonge Starcaster. If I'm playing pop punk, that's fine because I'm just playing power chords anyway. Where I think it becomes really valuable is when you think about these notes a fifth below, okay? So let's go to the people's key, the key of G. We've got an open G string right here, okay? So when I say a fifth below, we already said a fifth of G is D. The cool thing about how a guitar is tuned is a D, open D string, is right beneath the G string, right? So open D and open G. There's a G power chord. All right? Where this really helps is now we can use that same intervallic formula. Instead of going whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Again, any of the open strings are going to give you the same frets to do this. We can add the note below. So now you open and open, 2 and 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. And again, when I get to that 7th note, I just have a flat 5. So if they're back to back like this, I flatten the 5, I just come back. And I think that has like such a cool it's just a cool sound, right? You can add these in between any chords. Like let's say I'm playing something that's in G major to D major. I can go I can add those kind of intervals to whatever it is I'm playing. And then if you want to get spicy, just grab that right there, right? And again, you can repeat this all the way into the string set. So I think learning a note, having that intervallic formula that you can go all through the neck, and then pairing it with what I'm thinking of as a trailer note that just connects to it is a really interesting way to start putting things together on the fretboard. The nice thing about that too is let's just take the D and G strings, just the 5th fret to the 7th fret. We can kind of make that a little scale, right? If we see the symmetry in having these together, we can maybe just use those 4 notes as anything in the key of G. So G major, G, E minor, C major 7, or if I want to get fancier, open to 4, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. I'm making individual strings from these couples, these trailer notes. And then I have like a little hand shape that I can kind of just rifle through, right? So learning intervals and then how the notes in a key attach to each of those notes within the interval, I think is something that is like really easy to kind of get your mind around first, that will enhance your playing in all sorts of creative directions. Okay, so when's the tour? So in relation to this comment, I have been making a lot of new music with my friend Lilu. She's amazing. We're going to be doing some shows and stuff. So I'm going to have to practice and remember how to play all these songs. Walrus sent me this pedal. It is called the Rehearsal. It's part of their Canvas series. And this is really interesting. So I'll have an affiliate link in the description for this if you guys are interested. But what this does is it's just a regular pedal that you put at the end of the chain that has a direct guitar through. Right now I just have it going through a little pedal board with just an Empress compressor, Walrus Juliana, and a Strymon Big Sky. It is going into the Rehearsal, and I'm passing it through to my Fender Champ. But what I can really do, and the real value in this, is it has a headphone out and also an auxiliary in. But the biggest thing about this is you can stream Bluetooth to this pedal, okay? So I have a bunch of the songs that we did here, and if I think like a lot of singer-songwriters, you use your voice memos for so many things, right? So the cool thing about this is you don't even need an amp. You could just use this at the end of your chain of pedal board or just plug a guitar right into it. Stream your voice memos or tracks or anything to this pedal, and then I have it set up right here where the voice memo is just going to the headphone out. I just have some in-ear monitors right here that I can stream this to, and then I can practice to the voice memos, because the way that we write is we'll just kind of like have the voice memos on, and then if I have to practice my parts, which I need to do now anyway, I can just stream to the pedal, and then I can either record direct out or not even record and just listen to it. So basically, I just did a quick recording just on my camera of us going through one of our songs on our set list, and I'm just going to be able to play over it, monitoring myself from the headphone out. Now you can actually run the headphone out and the auxiliary track out to an amp or something like that, or like I said, you can pick and choose what goes to the main output, but it is stereo in and out. So this is going to be my first time actually using it in this context, but this is what it sounds like. Voice memo has begun. Super valuable tool. You can tap the tempo, and if you want, you can use it just as a metronome. A lot of utility, even just other ideas I've had for this. And the cool thing about pairing it with like a battery-powered pedal board type deal is you can use this busking if you want to play to tracks. You can play, essentially inserting a metronome or playback device into your signal chain, and then either being able to go out to monitors or like your headphone in-ears is something that is really interesting. So a super cool pedal. Again, this is something that I'll always travel with, just because being able to just get your voice memos to play back into a pedal is something that I feel like we should have had a pedal for a long time ago, but Walrus finally solved the problem. So shout out to them. Practical gear I actually use. Do they make a pedal that gets rid of that limp-wristed sound? Man, I love that. I'll get the good people at Walrus to start working on the Sean Daniels signature right away. I'm not sure what exactly it is about my playing that relates the limp-wristed sound to the listener, but if we can find a way to bottle that and put it in a pedal, printing money. So listening homework this week is inspired by a true story. I went to the Clippers game the other night, and I brought a bunch of friends with. We had a group of 5 people, and I ended up driving. I drive a 2-door Jeep Wrangler, so the backseat is not spacious by any means. But on the drive back, everyone was complaining about how cramped they were, even though I don't recall anybody offering to drive, so whatever. Then at the same time, they had the audacity to start requesting some absolute music that I do not like. So to punish them, because I was in control of the music, having, you know, my Spotify connected to the Bluetooth, I maliciously started playing the greatest hits of Steely Dan, and that shut them up right quick. But then something happened about the 30-minute interval into the drive where, like, I started really vibing to Steely Dan. It's pretty funny. It's one of those bands that, like, my parents used to listen to when I was a kid, and I just could not handle it all. I despised Steely Dan. Even though I like the song Dirty Work. I thought that was, like, an awesome song. I've always loved that song. But everything else, haven't been a fan. Until that fateful drive, I started just getting the smooth arrangements finally kind of just washed over my body, and I appreciate them in a new light. And I went from maliciously to ironically to legitimately enjoying them all in one trip. Back me up on this, because as a self-proclaimed hipster contrarian, I think the music of Steely Dan is so uncool that it actually is kind of cool now. So I'm gonna link you to some Steely Dan. Check that out. Thank you to Walrus for having this rehearsal pedal. Very super cool pedal. Like I said, a lot of utility for me. If it's something you're interested in, I will have an affiliate link in the description. And also, a great way to support the channel is just using that Sweetwater affiliate link for anything that you get, even if it's not that pedal. I still get credit for it, and they keep sponsoring a bunch of videos. So if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section or the website, and I'll talk to you all soon.